What's happening, guys? James Blonde here with MMOHuts.com with a quick weekly recap for MMO news and announcements for the week ending May 19th, 2014. And our first bit of news this week has to do with the two new bots in Transformers Universe that dropped in this past week. This time we get introduced to Macro for the Autobots and Flatline the Decepticon. Macro apparently is an all-out party starter. Rendering himself invisible, he'll bust out of a camo shield, launch a couple of grenades to get the party started right. He's able to scramble the enemy's signals, getting them stuck in place for a little while. Plus his car form looks pretty close to the Nissan GTR, which is pretty epic on its own. Flatline, on the other hand, is a do-it-all. He has a varied weapon loadout that enables him to inflict substantial damage, repair allies, and at the same time debuff enemies. It seems to be the ultimate support, being able to convert incoming damage into a morale boost, which absorbs damage for a short time. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really liking how these champions are set up. And like I've said before, I'm starting to look forward to this game more. Next up, it looks like War Thunder Ground Forces is now available with update 1.41. Last week, Gaijin Entertainment announced that they've unleashed a full-scale video, one you see playing here, showing off both air and mostly ground combat with epic explosions to go along with their epic music. Well, for the trailer anyway. With this new update, we see the addition of ground forces along with several other major features, including new planes, cockpits for the KI-45s, updated ammunition and ballistics, a nice graphics optimization, and then some. For now, testing ground vehicles will be strictly tank versus tank, and occasionally planes will be added in for testing purposes. After all, ground forces is available to everyone to play in an open beta state. Changes are still being made. Players can add tanks by purchasing them in the Army tab of the research menu. For more information about the new update, check out our full site post at MMOHuts.com right here. Last week, Webzen unleashed the first half of the 6th continent in Continent of the Ninth Seal, and with this, starting now, players will get a level cap increase to 67 with the ability to jump into 5 new dungeons. And one particularly exciting part to this new update is the newly revamped skill book system and new unique and normal items for each of the classes. The new skill book system will make it much easier for C9 players to acquire skill books from the dungeons in the 4th through 6th continents, and players can now combine their skill books with a Cosmos Stone to randomly strengthen their potency for each of the skill book's set effects. You can combine 2 or more skill books with an Artisan Crystal for a chance to get a different, more powerful skill book. It's kind of like some of those odd vendor recipes in Path of Exile, or at least that's what it seems like to me. It's not the biggest update, but it seems to be an important and rewarding one. Exciting news for PSO2 fans announced last week. The world's first English service of Phantasy Star Online 2 is set to go live on May 29th for Southeast Asia players. Apparently back in April, AsiaSoft started beta testing both English and Thai services as part of the launch preparation to monitor and improve the game's service and in-game performances. Prior to the start of that beta, they had over 100,000 people sign up for it, indicating that people really wanted to play the game. The thing is, we really want to play the game, and hopefully this means that the next step is to send it our way. Because even though the game is launching in Southeast Asia, and in English at that, it's still IP blocked for the rest of us. Next up, it's never enjoyable seeing an indie development studio hit a brick wall. Unfortunately, last week, Codebrush Games did just that with ArcheBlade. The development studio has officially decided to stop further development of ArcheBlade, along with putting an end to their hosting services, though privately hosted matches are still available. It's really lame to see them take a fall early on, then pick themselves back up only to hit a wall. But it happens, and who knows, maybe somebody will come along and pick the game back up. And that's when it'll get popular again. Kinda like this next bit of news with Dungeon Fighter Online. Suddenly, out of nowhere, it has returned. It looks like an alpha test is in store for DFO right now as of May 15th, in fact. The test is being run by the game's developer Neopol in an attempt to self-publish the game, perhaps. For now, it looks like everything is going smooth with popularity building and updates coming in through the game's Facebook page. Find out more information at the MMOHuts post right here. Well, it's pretty close to that time. Last week, In-Mass Entertainment announced the closed beta for Zombies, Monsters, Robots, starting on May 27th. Okay, so we may have known that already, but they're giving out closed beta keys on their Twitter on occasion and showing off some of the game's various modes on their Twitch page. If you happen to get access to the closed beta, you can expect to see 6 different maps, 8 gameplay modes, brutal bosses to face already, and of course a huge variety of enemies. The sign up is totally worth it. This game should be pretty kick-ass. And speaking of robots, Guns N' Robots developer Masthead Studios announced an unexpected massive makeover that is scheduled to take place in June. The June overhaul patch is set to include huge changes to the interface, a new notification system with more clear game objectives, new features for customizing your robot including robot painting, a new system for upgrading items, new boosts, consumable and ammo options, and tons of other stuff. Not to mention an overall rebalance for leveling and items. The upgraded items system allows players to upgrade individual pieces of their robot through a tech tree and to do so according to their level. So honestly, this should help keep the battle better matched going forward. Lots of changes are taking place in the game for the better, so check out the MMOHuts news post to get all the details. Perfect World Entertainment last week officially launched its third free module for Neverwinter, Curse of Icewind Dale. In this expansion, players explore the iconic D&D Icewind Dale locations, participate in open-world PvP in a fight for the precious Black Ice, and experience all new quests known as heroic encounters while working for one of the new opposing groups, the Tin Towners or the Arcane Brotherhood. This new update also provides Hunter Ranger players with new in-game advancement opportunities via the new Paragon Path, offering enhanced survivability and utility. Now that the third module is launched, Perfect World Entertainment announced the fourth in progress called Tyranny of Dragons, set to launch on August 14th. With more details to come, of course. Looks like they're really starting to push these modules out quicker and quicker. A couple of favorable changes were made and or added into SMITE last week. First off, we see an epic new, but at the same time strange skin for Musin Cobb coming to the game. Now AMC will double as a Cthulhu, with the Dark Whisperer skin and voice pack, both of which I picked up from day one, by the way. It's pretty awesome. The cool thing is they skinned his abilities to go along with it. Several balance changes came along with this patch as well. One noticeable one was with Bastet's Untouchable Pounce, now allowing the jump back part to be cancelled by CC during the first few seconds of the duration. They also decided to remove the Night Prowler skin for Bastet, which you can probably guess why. And later on last week, we see a new epic skin for G.E.B., which seems to make the Digimir skin seem lame in comparison. Nothing beats that Dark Whisperer skin, though.
You will worship me.
Next up, Infinite Crisis reached out to MMOHuts exclusively last week to let you guys be the first to see the new digital comic book based on the storyline of Infinite Crisis. Turbine is preparing to roll out the new comic series written by Dan Abnett that takes place before the start of the game and brings together unique versions of DC Universe heroes from across the multiverse to try and head off a crisis that threatens all of their worlds. From the announcement of Infinite Crisis, I really thought the idea was actually cool. And now that they're going to put that story together in digital comics, if you guys want to check it out, we've got around 2,000 keys going up in the MMOHuts giveaway section right here. And for our last bit of news this week, we get a new video showing off the cars of World of Speed. First we saw some of the iconic location races are taking place at, and now we've got part one of a multi-part video showing off just a few of the tons of cars you'll be able to drive in the game, like the Mercedes SLS AMG or the McLaren MP412C. It's really nice to see the detail they plan on putting in the cars in this game, but that's actually not what's going to make this game good. It's the huge social and real-time racing aspect of the game, and perhaps the collecting aspect or something. Either way, it's a nice looking game. But anyway guys, that's about all the MMO news and announcements for this week. If you're looking for more information about the news featured in the recap, check the links in the description below. Otherwise, head over to MMOHuts.com/news for even more MMO news. Feel free to discuss the news in the comments below, or head over to MMOHuts.com/forums. Until next time guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.